Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we're doing the What's Next on Chris Eubank Jr., the former two-time world title challenger, following his October 12th dominating seventh-round TKO victory over Kamil Szeremeta as they competed on the big Riyadh season card, undercard, that was on DAZN. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So this was Eubank coming back after a 13-month layoff, taking on Szeremeta. Good, solid performance. He dominated the action, scored, I think it was 4 knockdowns, really put it on Szeremeta, and had a good showing because, Eubank, and it helped him out because Eubank is a guy that wants big fights. He wants big fights. And I think he sold himself. I really do. So now the big question is, what's next for Eubank? Well, I mean, could be a lot of things. There could be a lot of different options between 160 and 168. Personally, I'm going to throw this one out there at the very beginning. I think Conor Benn has a very good chance of landing that fight. He jumped up on the apron, got in there, and talked shit. These two guys have a legacy rivalry here, because of their dads. And I really think this could be the option. I really do. I will run through some names faster than normal so I can get through both divisions between middleweight and super middleweight, because Eubank, I think he came razor thin close to getting the Canelo fight. The only reason he didn't get the Canelo fight over Berlanga, according to Eubank, is because he wanted more money for taking the Canelo fight on shorter notice. That's the only reason he didn't get it. So I want to confirm that Eubank has fought at 168 before. He actually got his first title shot at 168 when he fought in the World Boxing Super Series tournament. He's actually a pretty solid super middleweight. Defeated James DeGale there. He's been fighting at middleweight the last few years. So, just in case anybody knows. So he can definitely fight at both weight classes and be successful. So let's start at 160. And again, we're going to run through these quick. The Janibek Alamanhalai fight, I think Janibek's going to fight Hamza Shiraz next. Eubank could have had this fight before. He's never wanted it. I don't see him going after it now. Carlos Adames, I don't see it. Again, this is another one where if Eubank really wanted the fight, he probably could have had it already. He hasn't. Erislandy Lara, would love to see it. I think it's a good matchup, but I don't think Eubank wants Lara. I don't think he cares about winning a title, which sucks, but it's true. Hamza Shiraz, absolutely not. As much as I'd love to see the fight because it's an all UK battle, I think Shiraz needs to become a little bit bigger of a name, maybe win a world title. Maybe Eubank would fight him because it's an all UK battle then. But right now, no, I don't see it. Excuse me. Then a third fight with Liam Smith. I guess that's never out of the question. I just don't think it's going to happen next. But I definitely think it's not out of the question if he can't land the bigger fights that he wants. Kyrone Davis, no, I don't see it. Davis is a PBC guy. It's kind of a risky fight. I don't think he fights Davis. Shane Mosley Jr., never know. Because Mosley, even though he wants a world title shot and everything, he's a name. And he's coming off of good wins, beating Daniel Jacobs. He's got a couple good wins before that. I wouldn't completely rule this one out because technically Mosley could fight him at super middleweight and maybe not lose his ranking at middleweight. So we'll see, but I do think that's an option. Austin Williams, I don't see it. Risky fight right here. He's coming off of a loss. I don't see Eubank taking it. I don't think Terrell Gaucher is an option. Charlo, if he wanted the fight, he could get it. I don't think he wants it. This fight could have been made before, and it wasn't. And I don't see anybody else at middleweight being an option outside of Conor Benn moving up. So that fight would take place at middleweight or at a catchweight, maybe even lower. So that's the only other fight that would take place at middleweight. Now, in terms of super middleweight, Canelo Alvarez for the unified super middleweight title, always an option. If he was an option before, he could be an option now. I think Canelo wouldn't be afraid of going all the way to the UK and selling out Wembley Stadium to fight Chris Eubank. It'd be a huge payday for Canelo if he did that. And I don't think he'd be against it. So I do think Canelo is a potential option for Eubank. David Benavidez is at 175 now. Jaime Munguia, that would be a good one right there. I would like to see that fight. I really would. I don't think it happens. I think it's a little bit of a risky fight for Eubank, but I wouldn't completely rule it out because Munguia's been in the ring with Canelo now. And if Eubank wanted to earn a Canelo fight, beating Munguia wouldn't be a bad idea. But because Munguia is a pressure guy with power and younger, I'm going to say no to that one. Caleb Plant, another one I could see happening. If Eubank would pull the trigger, it's a good money fight. They could definitely sell this fight. And it could happen. I'm going to lean towards the less likely, but I do think it's an option. Sergey Derevyanchenko, what a match that would be. Really would be a good option. I mean, Derevyanchenko's fought Christian Mabili, he's fought Munguia. He's kind of that stepping stone guy that you want to look good against. And if he really wanted to try to move his way into the middleweight division, Derevyanchenko would be the guy to go through. He's the gatekeeper at 168 now, in my opinion. And if he decides to continue to fight, which he should, because Derevyanchenko, even the loss to Mabili, he got hurt in that fight. And I think it would have been more competitive. Do I think he would have beat Mabili? Probably not. But it would have been more competitive if he didn't get hurt. So, yeah, I think that'd be a good one right there. David Morrell Jr. is fighting at 175 now. I don't see that one. Christian Mabili, he wouldn't consider that. Mabili's just, no, he's too much of a threat. Demetrius Andrade, I don't know if he'd consider that fight. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm going to say I don't see it happening. Edgar Berlanga, maybe. That could be an option for Eubank. Eubank might pull the trigger and say, fuck it, I'll fight a guy like Berlanga. He's coming off the Canelo fight. He's coming off a loss. If he wants to earn Canelo, a good performance against Berlanga would potentially get him Canelo. And as I already said, Shane Mosley Jr., other potential guys, I mean, I don't see anybody else at 168. So for me, I really think the most likely option for Chris Eubank next would be your boy Conor Benn. I think the Conor Benn fight is most likely. But with Eubank, you never fucking know. So I'm hoping it's, I would like to see him fight. I don't want to see him fight Canelo. I don't think he's earned Canelo, but I do think he would get a huge payday. And Canelo's kind of into just getting huge paydays now. And Eubank would get a big payday. And they could definitely sell out Wembley Stadium for the fight. I just honestly don't want to see it. I don't think Eubank's earned the fight. But Canelo doesn't seem really to care about guys earning fights or not lately. So, I think it's, I think it's going to be Conor Benn, but we'll see. So that's it. That's what I got. That's my what's next on former two-time world title challenger Chris Eubank Jr. Following a very solid 7th round TKO victory over Kamil Szeremeta on the DAZN Riyadh season undercard that took place on October 12th. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing, and you've been hit with the truth.